Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station, and we're going to continue with our one and done playoff tournament. This is our second tournament we've done on Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel. And today's game will pit the number 5, 1982 St. Louis Cardinals versus the number 4, 1984 San Diego Padres. So let's quickly go to the lineups here. St. Louis in 1982 would go on. They had a record of 92 wins and 70 losses. They would win the National League pennant, go on to the World Series and defeat the Milwaukee Brewers in a very good World Series. The San Diego Padres also had a record of 92 and 70. They would go on to win the National League pennant, but run into the juggernaut Detroit Tigers in 1984 and lose the World Series. Determination of home field advantage. I could have done it off who won the World Series, but I actually flipped a coin. So, Cardinals got the bad flip of the coin, so they're the visiting team and the number 5 seed. And let's give you their lineup. Batting first, playing center field, Willie McGee. Batting second, playing left field, Lonnie Smith. A lot of speed at the top of the lineup here. Batting third, playing right field, George Hendrick. Batting fourth, playing first base, Keith Hernandez. Batting fifth and doing the catching, Glenn Rummer. Batting sixth, playing third base, Dane Orge. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith. Batting eighth, playing second base, Ozzie Smith's partner in crime, Mike Ramsey. Batting ninth, doing the pitching, Joaquin Andujar. In 1982, Andujar had a record of 15 wins, 10 losses, earned run average 2.47. Now for the hometown San Diego Padres. Batting first, playing right field, Tony Gwynn. Batting second, playing center field, Kevin McReynolds. Batting third, playing first base, Steve Garvey. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Greg Nettles. So Nettles and Garvey, heated rivals in the late 70s with the Yankees and Dodgers, now are on the same team. Actually played in the same World Series together in '84. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Carmelo Martinez. Batting sixth, doing the catching, Terry Kennedy. Batting seventh, second baseman, Al Wiggins. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Gary Templeton, who Templeton and Ozzie Smith were traded. Ozzie Smith originally was with the Padres, and Templeton originally with the Cardinals, and that was a big trade. I forgot what year that happened, but obviously that happened around '82. Ozzie Smith's on the '82 Cardinals. Coffee here. And batting ninth, doing the pitching, Ed Whitson. And Whitson in 1984 had a record of 14 wins, 8 losses, earned run average 3.24, struck out 103, walked 42, batting average against 255. Left-handed batters batted 267, right-handed batters batted 243. So here it comes Willie McGee to the plate. McGee, switch hitter, was batting left-handed. 1982, Willie McGee batted .296, 4 home runs, and 56 runs batted in. I will be managing the Cardinal team. The computer will be managing the Padre team, though I will make pitching changes and possible pinch hitting changes for the Padres, and sometimes the computer does some crazy wacky things. So Willie McGee, to start off the game, steps in the batter's box. Whitson gets the sign from Kennedy. Here's the pitch to McGee. McGee grounds at to Nettles, who fires over to Garvey, but not in time. So the speed of the Cardinals comes into play right away. An infield single for Willie McGee, 9 out of 10 base running, 64% chance of stealing second. So you got Garvey at first, who's excellent. Wiggins at second, who's very good. Templeton, another excellent fielder at short. Nettles, also solid at third. In the outfield, you have Martinez, good outfielder with an excellent arm, 7 out of 10. You have McReynolds in center, 8 out of 10 range, very good outfielder, average arm. And you have Tony Gwynn in right, another very good outfielder. So San Diego puts together a very good defensive team. And now stepping to plate, Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith batted .307, 8 home runs and 69 runs batted in. He's a right-handed batter to face the right-handed throwing Ed Whitson. And 5 hit and run. McGee's a 64% chance. You know, we're going to let Smith swing away. Kennedy goes through the sides. Here's the windup and the pitch by Whitson. Lonnie Smith grounds the Wiggins, and that is going to be no. As they do not turn the double play, Wiggins goes to Templeton. They force out McGee at second. The throw to Garvey is a little too late. Smith beats it out. He's a 10 out of 10 base runner ability. 73% chance of stealing second base. And we're going to send him. George Hendricks steps to the plate. Cardinal right fielder batted .282, 19 home runs, and 104 runs batted in. So we're going to send Lonnie Smith. There's the throw down, and he's in there safe. He beats the Kennedy throw. Templeton applied the tag, but Smith beats it, so he's in scoring position with 1 out. Hendrick has a duck out on the pond. He can knock in and give the Cardinals an early lead. Count on Hendrick is no balls, 1 strike. He's ready to grip and rip. Whitson sets and delivers. Hendrick swings, that's a grounder to Templeton, who fires over to Garvey, but not in time. Another infield hit by this speedy Cardinal team. Hendrick, 5 out of 10 base running ability, 18% chance of stealing second. So the Cardinals have runners on the corners. And Keith Hernandez steps in to play. Cardinal first baseman in 1982, batted .299, 7 home runs, 94 runs batted in. He's a 4 for hit and run. Righty-lefty matchup here for Whitson. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch to Hernandez. Hernandez pops it up. Wiggins calls for it. He makes the catch for out number 2. So with 2 outs, runners on the corners. Cardinals don't want to squander this opportunity. Whitson looked to pitch the Padres out of this jam. Stepping to the plate, the catcher, Glenn Brummer. Brummer batted .234 in 1982. No home runs, 8 RBIs, but he batted, oh boy, the computer switched pitchers on me, so he only batted .162 off right-handed pitching, so I'd set this up for a left-hander pitcher. Oh, we're in a bit of trouble here. So Whitson's ready. Here's the pitch to Brummer. Bremer swings, grounds to Wiggins, over to Garvey, inning over. Oh, we're going to have to get him out of the game. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. 2 up for the Padres. I'll be right back. And we are back. So leading off for the Padres, Tony Gwynn. And then they'll have McReynolds and Garvey if anyone gets on Nettles. Gwynn batted .351, 5 home runs, 71 runs batted in. So you have Andujar on the mound, 15 wins, 10 losses, 2.47 earned run average, struck out 137, walked 50 behind the plate. Brummer, pretty poor defensive catcher. Orge at third, not that good. Ozzie Smith, absolutely outstanding at short. Ramsey, very good at second. And Hernandez, outstanding at first. And left, Lonnie Smith, below average range, which is really shocking, and a good arm. And then you have Willie McGee, who just chases down everything with a good arm. And Hendrick, average range with an above average arm. So Tony Gwynn at the plate, left-handed batter to face the right-handed throwing Joaquin Andujar. Brummer sets the target. Here's the pitch to Gwynn, and that's a grounder to Ozzie Smith, and throws over to Hernandez for out number 1. Captain McReynolds steps to the plate for the Padres. 278 in 1984, 20 home runs and 75 runs batted in. Batted .283 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch by Andujar. That ball's popped up and foul, and Orge cannot make the play. So the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. McReynolds steps back in the batter's box. Andujar gets the sign from Brummer. Here's the pitch to McReynolds, and he strikes him out. Gets him on the outside corner. So 2 up, 2 down, and Steve Garvey steps to the plate, the former Dodger, in 1984 for the Padres. Batted .284, 8 home runs and 86 runs batted in. Righty-righty matchup. Batted .280 off right-handed pitching. Andujar rocks and fires. Garvey swings, and that's going to be a base hit to right. That ball got past Ramsey. Garvey, 4 out of 10 base running ability, 16% chance of stealing. Keith Hernandez to hold him on, and now Greg Nettles steps to the plate. Padre third baseman struggled at the plate, .228 batting average, 20 home runs and 65 runs batted in. Off right-handed pitching, .252. So there's 2 outs, runner at first. Here's the pitch to Nettles. And that ball is sent deep and off the wall and right. Hendrick retrieves it. They're going to send Garvey around. And we're going to attempt to throw home. So Hendricks to Ramsey to Brummer, and Garvey slides in safely. Padres taking a 1-0 lead on the 2-out clutch double by Greg Nettles. Nettles very slow at second base. Padre fans are ecstatic with this early lead. Carmelo Martinez steps to the plate. 250 batting average, 13 home runs, 66 runs batted in off right-handed pitching, 242. Andujar gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Martinez. And he strikes him out, inning over. But the Padres strike first. We go to the top of the second, 1-0 San Diego. Due up for the Cardinals, Dane Orge, Ozzie Smith, and then the second baseman, Ramsey. Orge batted .294, no home runs, 34 runs batted in, .292 off right-handed pitching. Righty-lefty matchup here for Whitson. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch to Orge. And Orge grounds to Wiggins, who goes to Garvey for the first out. Ozzie Smith steps to the plate. The Wizard of Oz batted .248, 2 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Switch hitting shortstop with that left-handed off the right-handed throwing Ed Whitson. Padres infield is normal. We're going to attempt to lay a bunt down for a hit. Smith puts down a pretty good one, and he gets a bunt base hit as he puts it between the pitcher and Garvey charging in into no man's land. So a bunt base hit for Ozzie Smith. 8 out of 10 base running ability, 80% chance of stealing second. Now stepping to the plate, his partner in crime, Mike Ramsey, the second baseman, who's also very good with the bat. .230 batting average, 1 home run, 21 RBIs. 10 out of 10 for bunting, 6 out of 10 for hit and run. And we're going to send Ozzie Smith. He's got an 80% chance of stealing second. We're going to send him. There goes Ozzie Smith, the throw down, not in time, and it's an error. As that ball goes into center field, Smith gets up and moves to third base. So with 1 out, the tying runs at third base here for Mike Ramsey and the St. Louis Cardinals of 1982. No balls, 1 strike. The windup and the pitch by Whitson. Ramsey swings, grounds that ball through the hole into right field. That's a clutch hit for Ramsey. It's a 1-1 ball game here in the top of the second. Ramsey, 7 out of 10 base running ability. He'll be held on by Garvey. No, they're going to play behind him. I'm sorry, they're playing behind Ramsey. So Joaquin Andujar steps to the plate. He's going to lay down the sacrifice bunt. Here's a pitch by Whitson. Andujar puts down a beauty. The wheel plays on. They go to Wiggins covering first base. There's 2 outs. Ramsey moves in the scoring position. Top of the order for the Cardinals. Chance to take the lead here. Willie McGee, he's 1 for 1 today. Single of the infielder variety in the first. Kennedy goes through the signs. Whitson nods his head. Here's the pitch to McGee. McGee grounds to Wiggins, inning over. But the Cardinals tie it up on the Ramsey single. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-1. Due up for the Padres, Kennedy, Wiggins, and Templeton. So Terry Kennedy, the Padre catcher, steps to the plate. He batted .240 with 14 home runs and 57 runs batted in, .262 off right-handed pitching. Drummer sets the target. Here's the pitch to Kennedy. And that's a grounder to Ozzie Smith, who quickly fires to Hernandez in a very smooth motion for out number 1. As you just saw, the outstanding defensive ability the Wizard of Oz has at short for the Cardinals. Here steps to the plate Al Wiggins. Excellent bunter and hit and run. And Wiggins switch hitter, a bat lefty off the right-handed throwing Andujar. Wiggins batted .258 in 1984, 3 home runs, 34 RBIs. The Cardinals will play their corners in. So Hernandez in at first, Orge in at third, 1 out. The windup and the pitch by Andujar. And that's a grounder to Ozzie Smith, who fires over to Hernandez for out number 2. Smith flashing the leather at short, so with 2 outs, it's stepping to the plate, his counterpart, the man who he was traded for, Gary Templeton, steps to the plate. Templeton in 1984 batted .258, 2 home runs, 35 RBIs. He'll be batting left-handed off the right-handed throwing Andujar. Andujar nods his head. Here's the pitch to Templeton. And that is a single to right field. A 2-out single for Gary Templeton. 77% chance of stealing second base. And the pitcher, Ed Whitson, comes to the plate. Andujar throws over to first. Templeton dives back in. He's safe. Now we're going to pitch out. And what happened there, we went pitch out. Nothing. Oh, so Templeton bluffed. So now the count's 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch to Whitson. And he strikes him out. Inning over. We go to the top of the third, 1-1 ball game. Due up for the 1982 Cardinals, Lonnie Smith, George Hendrick, and Keith Hernandez. Lonnie Smith 0 for 1. He grounded to second, which was a force out of McGee. He reached on the fielder's choice. And they are playing their corners in, as they don't want to see that bunt. Smith to swing away. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch by Whitson. And Lonnie Smith walks. Definitely a base running threat. 77% chance of stealing second base. George Hendrick steps to the plate. Lonnie Smith will be going. There's the throw down, and he's out! What a throw by Kennedy, nailing Smith. Templeton applies the tag. That's a huge play. So Hendrick now steps back in the batter's box. No balls, 1 strike. He's 1 for 1. He's singled, infield single in the first. Cardinals had 2 infield singles in the first, but couldn't capitalize on them. They did not score. Hendricks had 19 home runs in 1982. He'd love to take Whitson deep. Padres fans looking for the second out of the inning. Whitson rocks and fires. Hendricks swings and misses. Strikes him out. So 2 up, 2 down. 1 being erased on the attempted steal, and the other 1 on a strikeout. So Keith Hernandez steps to the plate. 0 for 1. He popped out to second. Righty-lefty matchup for Whitson. Kennedy goes through the signs. Whitson rocks and fires. Hernandez swings. Nettles charges in, throws to first, but not in time. Another infield hit for the Cardinals. And we have in the chat DC. Thank you for joining us. He says, I have enjoyed watching many of your simulations. I am also an avid sim player. I am thinking of purchasing Action 2017. How difficult is it to set up for a newbie to this particular game? Thanks. It's pretty easy, DC. It's very easy. The pictures are easy to load. There's a lot of good... Before you purchase it, I know you said you've watched the games. Thank you very much. Go on YouTube, as you're on now. After the game, hopefully, watch my video. And just check out, like, type in how to load pictures. They'll show... It's pretty easy. It's a bit pricey, but it's a lot of fun. I play this game. I play Out of the Ballpark. I just purchased Stratomatic. I'm enjoying that. I play Digital Diamond and Pure Sim Baseball, which is free. Pure Sim Baseball is a free game. It's very fun for a free game. It's fairly easy. What do you mean about setup? Are you talking about the pitchers, the stadiums, things like that? So anyhow, thank you very much for joining me, DC. And there's a lot of videos out there. If you type in Action PC Baseball tutorials, setups, even if you go on the web. And if you have any questions that I can help you with later on, feel free to send me a message, and I'll try to help you. I've done it before for people. Alright, so stepping to the plate, the Cardinals will have Brummer, Orge, and Smith, and I made a mistake here. I thought they were throwing a lefty at me, and I put Glenn Brummer in, and he does not hit right-handed pitching at all. He's my number 5 batter. And we have Hernandez at first with 2 outs, and we're actually, God, what's he? 6 out of 10 hit. We're going to play hit and run here. This will be his last at-bat, but we're going to play a little hit and run. Whitson's ready. Here's the pitch to Brummer. Hit and run's on. And that ball is looped into the left center field. So Brummer, who was pretty good at hit and run, that's why I called that, because he'll put the bat in the ball. He takes it to left center. Hernandez goes first to third. Runner's on the corner, 2 outs. Big opportunity here for Dane Orge now. Orge is 0 for 1 off Whitson. He grounded to second in the second inning. Whitson in a bit of trouble here. Kennedy sets the target. The windup and the pitch by Whitson. Orge swings, grounds it to Wiggins, who goes to Garvey. Inning over. So the Cardinals threaten but do not score. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-1. 2 up for the Padres, top of the order. Win, McReynolds, and Garvey. If anyone gets on, Nettles. Knocked in. The Padre run. So Tony Gwynn 0 for 1. He grounded to short off Andujar. Andujar nods his head. He gets a sign from Brummer. The windup and the pitch to Gwynn. Gwynn swings and sends that ball to Hernandez, who beats him to the bag for the first out of the inning. Oh, DC says, thanks. I was thinking of initial download. I like this game for the fact you have all players and you can play replays with original lineups, and I'm a fan of the 64 season. You just, it's pretty easy to download. It's, when you buy it, it's going to give you the ability to download, like any game, and it basically has a download wizard. And you just follow the instructions. It's going to want to put it in the C drive. I let it put it in the C drive wherever, you know, that's where most things go with these games. It's very easy for that. At least in my opinion. And I'm not a computer wizard by any means, DC. And also, before you purchase the game, see if they check. They have lots of sales. That's the one thing I can say about Action PC compared to Stratomatic. When I bought my Action PC baseball, I bought it when it was on sale, and I got a bunch of decent free seasons, and then I waited for another sale and I bought a ton of seasons. That's just me. I like to have a lot of different seasons. They also have the greatest teams. I like that, so if you don't want to buy individual seasons, but you're a big fan of the 64 season, so they might have that on sale. I don't know if there's a sale going on, or it might even come with the game. I'm trying to think when I bought it. Which 66 came with the game. 57. 2016. 1941. And another season, I forgot. 1950, I think? So. Alright, so Kevin McReynolds to lead it off here. I'm sorry, stepping to the plate with 1 out as Hernandez retired Gwynn on the ground out. McReynolds 0 for 1. He struck out in the first. Andujar gets the sign. He sets and delivers to McReynolds. And he strikes him out! So 2 up, 2 down. Steve Garvey steps to the plate. The Padre first baseman's 1 for 1. He singled in the first. Righty-righty matchup. Andujar peers in at Brummer. He gets the sign. Brummer sets the target. Here's the pitch to Garvey. 2 outs, no one on, and he strikes Garvey out, inning over. So Andujar is in a zone. We go to the top of the 4th, 1-1 here. And again, this is a one-and-done playoff tournament. You win, you advance. You lose, you go home. The Wizard of Oz steps to the plate. Ozzie Smith, he's 1 for 1 today. He had an infield single. was a bunt single. And again, the Padres are playing normal. And let's see if we can beat them again on the bunt. Here's the pitch by Whitson. Smith squares, and another bunt single. What a beautiful drag bunt by Ozzie Smith. He's 2 for 2. Hello, Tribes fan. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. How goes your retro replays? So, another bunt single. I can't believe the Padres played normal once again. So, Mike Ramsey steps to the plate. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the second, knocking in Smith, who had stolen second base and advanced to third on the throwing error by Kennedy. Garvey's holding him on. Ramsey, 6 out of 10 hit and run. We're going to play some hit and run here. Whitson rocks and fires. Hit and runs on. That's a ground ball to Templeton, who fires to Garvey. They get the out at first, but advancing into scoring position, the Wizard of Oz. DC says, yes, thank you. I will let you get back to it. The 67 Red Sox were awesome and a treat. Well, thank you. I enjoyed. I play a lot of 67 stuff. I also have, if you like that team, I did an out of the ballpark series between the 67 Red Sox and the 78 Yankees. Yes, it was the 78 Yankees. Great series. Tribes fan says retro replay is on start 7 for Fergie Jenkins. Excellent. Can you give us an update after 6 starts? How is Jenkins doing? So with 1 out, Ozzie Smith is at second. Joaquin Andujar steps to the plate. Andujar, as a pitcher, batted .158, no home runs, 4 RBIs. He's going to lay the bunt down to move Smith over to third. Here's the pitch by Whitson. Andujar puts down a oh, they muffed the ball! Kennedy gets charged with his second error. So they don't get an out. There should have been 2 outs with Smith at third, but now first and third, 1 out, top of the order. Willie McGee, he's 1 for 2. He can put the Cardinals ahead here. McGee had an infield single in the first and grounded to second in the second. For all of his speed, Willie McGee is not a good bunter though. But he's 7 out of 10 for hit and run. And you know what? Even though we have the pitcher at first, and he's only 5 out of 10 base running ability, we're going to play hit and run here. Put the ball in motion. So he hit 304. You know what? We're going to go hit and run. Here's a pitch by Whitson. Hit and run. McGee grounds that ball to Wiggins. They only have a 3% chance of turning the double play. Send Smith home. You betcha. Here goes Ozzie Smith to the plate. And a run scores on the fielder's choice. So Willie McGee will get an RBI on the fielder's choice. Smith scores from third. They force out Andujar at second. So the hit and run works to perfection. Small ball comes through once again. 2-1. 82 Cardinals over the 84 Padres. Now stepping to plate, Lonnie Smith. He's 0 for 1. Grounded to second, forcing McGee in the first, and walked in the third. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch to Smith, and Smith pops it up. Garvey calling for it. He makes the catch, inning over. But the Cardinals score 1 and go ahead thanks to the error by Kennedy, and then the hit and run. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 2-1 St. Louis. Hello, Alvin Leslie. How you doing? Oh, yes. Alvin says it should have been the 84 Cubs and the 84 Tigers in the World Series. It would have been, I think, the greatest series. Is that the series where, what was the first baseman for the Cubs? I could see him. He let the ball go by him. The Cubs had a 2-0 lead. Am I not correct with that? And they lost 3 straight. Tribes fan says after 6 starts, Jenkins is 3-3. 49 in the 3rd innings. Pitched. 42 hits allowed, 17 earned runs allowed. 42 Ks, 7 walks. If someone would like to calculate ERA, would be good. Tribes fan. Leon Durham, thank you. DC says, I can still see that playoff series, Durham. Yeah, the ball went by him. He pulled like a Buckner. And you know, I thought that was a good series. They were up 2-0, I believe. And then they got, the Padres got steamrolled. I think they lost 4 games to 1 in the World Series. Dick Williams managed the Padres, and Sparky Anderson managed the Tigers. The Tigers, the Eastern Division in the American League was done. Like early on. That's the year the Tigers went on that insane winning streak, I believe, early in the year. So Craig Nettles steps to the plate. Nettles is 1 for 1. He doubled off the wall, and Garvey scored, and that gave San Diego a 1-0 lead at the time. Righty-lefty matchup for Joaquin Andujar. Drummer sets the target. Here's the pitch to Greg Nettles. Nettles swings, sends that ball to Hendrick, who makes the running catch in right center. 1 up, 1 down. Brings up Carmelo Martinez, San Diego left fielder. He is 0 for 1. Struck out in the 1st. Andujar nods his head. He rocks and fires, and Martinez grounds that ball foul down the left field line. It counts now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andujar in the driver's seat. Grummer goes through the sides. Here's the pitch to Martinez. And that is a ground ball past Ozzie Smith. So a 1-out single for Martinez. 4 out of 10 base running ability. 16% chance of stealing second. Keith Hernandez to hold him on. Tribes fan says... Oh, let me go back a bit. Tribes fan says Steve Garvey walk-off home run. Then Alvin says... Leon Durham, the Cubs had a outstanding team. Well, that goes back to when I was asking who the first baseman was. And Tribes fan that says 84 Tigers went 35-5 in the first 40 games of the season. Yeah, the division was all done. They were a juggernaut. So Terry Kennedy steps to the plate, tying run at first, 1 out. Kennedy's 0 for 1. He grounded to short. Cardinals pinch in the middle. They're looking at turn 2. Righty-lefty matchup. Kennedy batted .262 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch by Joaquin Andujar. And that ball goes out to Hendricks, and he makes the catch. Good range shown by Hendricks there. Retreating back to first is Martinez. There's now 2 outs with the tying run at first, and Al Wiggins steps to the plate. Wiggins, 0 for 1. He grounded to short. Joaquin Andujar peers in at Brummer. He gets the sign. Brummer sets the target. Here's the pitch to Wiggins. And that ball goes on Ozzie Smith, who quickly fires to Hernandez. Inning over. What a play. Going towards the third base side. Ozzie Smith grabs the ball, then contorts his body all in one motion. What a strong throw to Hernandez. Inning over. Tribes fan says, sadly, there are a few on the 84 Padres that are, yes, Tony Gwynn. I think Tony Gwynn passed away. I believe Wiggins also passed away. He got, I want to say he had HIV. He got sick with AIDS. That's what sticks in my head, or HIV. I could be wrong with that. I kind of remember seeing something a while back. So, we go to the top of the 5th, 2-1 Cardinals. Due up for the Cardinals, Hendrick, Hernandez, and Brummer. Brummer will be pinch hit for. Again, I made a mistake thinking they were throwing a lefty. I thought Whitson was a lefty, and I put together a left-handed lineup. I should have paid attention. The Cubs the Bears enters the chat. How are you, my friend? He says, I've been following the Cubs since the 50s, and the 84 team was my favorite. Not all Durham's fault. Sandberg misplayed a ground ball later in that inning. Tribes fan, Gwynn, Wiggins, and Eric Shaw. Oh yeah, Eric Shaw passed away. DC, you're right about Wiggins. So, George Hendrick, 1 for 2. Singled, infield single in the first, and struck out in the third. Righty-righty matchup for Whitson. He rocks and fires to Hendrick. Hendrick grounds to Nettles, who comes up throwing to Garvey for the first out of the inning. Good reaction by Greg Nettles at third. That brings up Keith Hernandez. Hernandez is 1 for 2. Popped to second in the first and had an infield single in the third. The Cardinals have had 3 infield singles. No, 4, because Ozzie Smith has 2 bunt singles. McGee had an infield single, and then Hernandez. So, 1 out, no one on. The windup and the pitch to Hernandez. And he grounds to Templeton, who goes to Garvey for the second out. That's 6-3 if you're scoring at home. And here comes Brummer, who we're going to pinch hit for now. Again, I made a mistake. So let's put a different catcher in. We're going to go with Gene Tennis will come in to catch. He should have been starting the game. He hits 387 off right-handers. I don't know why I thought Ed Whitson was a lefty. I put in a whole left-handed against left-handed pitching lineup. I should have just looked. So here comes Gene Tennis. Tennis in 1982, as I was tempted to say 1984, as you can see, his Padres hat. He batted .258, 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, 124 at-bats, and against right-handed pitching, .387. So 2 outs, no one on. Tennis ready to grip and rip. The windup and the pitch by Whitson. And Tennis sends that ball out to McReynolds, who comes in out in center field, makes the catch, 3rd out of the inning. Tribes fan says Wiggins' daughter was a decent basketball player. Good to know. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Cardinals. Due up for the 84 Padres, Templeton, Whitson, and the top of the order, Tony Gwynn. Andujar's up to 57 pitches. He's good for 125. He's throwing a 4-hitter right now. And the costly errors by Kennedy has enabled the Cardinals to score both their runs. Templeton's 1 for 1. He singled in the second inning. And we need a catcher, which will be Tennis. So the new battery is Andujar and Tennis. Andujar nods his head. Here's the pitch to Templeton. And he sends that ball out to Lonnie Smith in left. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Ed Whitson steps to the plate. I'm wondering, well, it's only the bottom of the 5th. He probably will hit. The right-handed batter to face the right-handed throwing Joaquin Andujar. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch to Ed Whitson. It's a grounder to Orge, who throws to Hernandez for out number 2. Dane Orge, not much range at third, but if you hit it at him, he's going to make the play. 1,000 fielding percentage. Top of the order now, Tony Gwynn. He's 0 for 2. He has grounded to short in the first, grounded to Hernandez in the third. Remember, this is a one-and-done playoff tournament. If you lose, you go home. If you win, you advance. Alvin in the chat says the world champion Cardinals, led by Whitey Herzog, against Harvey Wallbangers. It came down to Game 7 in St. Louis. That was a really good World Series. Tribes fan, the Cubs getting to know the 1971 Cubs very well because they're doing the Ferguson-Jenkins replay. So 2 outs, no one on. Gwynn steps to the plate. Andujar nods his head. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch. Gwynn swings, grounds it to Ozzie Smith, who goes to Hernandez. Inning over. We go to the top of the 6th. The 1982 Cardinals 2. The 1984 San Diego Padres 1. Due up for the Cardinals, Dane Orge, Ozzie Smith and Mike Ramsey. Orge is 0 for 2. He awaits the Whitson offering, and here it is. Orge swings and grounds that ball in the left field. A leadoff single for Dane Orge. Garvey will hold him on. Orge 4 out of 10 base running ability. 17% chance of stealing second. He shall stay put. And once again, can we drop a third bunt on these guys? I'm going to do it. They're playing normal. Ozzie Smith. Oh, but you know what? I won't do it for a third time. His bunting has now gone. That's very intriguing. Went down to 3. Maybe because he's holding the runner on? I don't know. We're going to play some hit and run here. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch to Smith. Hit and run on. And that's a grounder to Templeton. He goes to first. They get Smith for the out. But Ozzie Smith does his job. Orge moves into scoring position. And that brings up Mike Ramsey. Ramsey's 1 for 2 today. He singled in the second, knocking in Ozzie Smith. And then he grounded to short in the fourth on the hit and run. So 1 out. Orge at second. 2-1 Cardinals. Righty-lefty matchup here for Ed Whitson. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch to Ramsey. And Ramsey grounds that ball in the right field. We have a 67% chance of scoring Orge. We're going to send him. So it's going to be Dane Orge, 4 out of 10 base running against Tony Gwynn, 7 out of 10 arm. And we're going to hold Ramsey at first. There's a throw by Gwynn and sliding in safely, Dane Orge. Cardinals take a 3-1 lead. Another RBI for Mike Ramsey. Let's jump to the chat. And the same post, so back to the game. Joaquin Andujar steps to the plate. Bear with me a moment. I have lost my second screen. I'm going to try to bring it up quickly. I cannot see the chat now. Hopefully the video is still up and running. So it's now 3-1 Cardinals. As I stated, Ramsey knocks in his second run. Joaquin Andujar comes to the plate with 1 out. Ramsey at first. And my second screen not wanting to come back up. So we shall play along. So Andujar shall put the bunt down. Here's the pitch. He squares the bunt. It's a good one. They go to Wiggins covering first for out number 2, and Ramsey moves into scoring position. And that brings up the top of the order, Willie McGee. McGee's 1 for 3. Had an infield single in the first. Grounded to second in the second. And grounded to second, forcing Andujar in the fourth. RBI opportunity here for Willie McGee. Ramsey 7 out of 10 base running ability. 3-1 Cardinals, top of the 6th. 2 outs. Here's the pitch by Whitson. And it's a wild pitch. Advancing to third is Ramsey. Ramsey 90 feet away from another insurance run for the Cardinals. The count on Willie McGee's now 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. As we continue to work on our second screen to try to get it up so I can see the chat. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch to McGee. And that's a grounder to Wiggins, who moves towards the second base bag and fires over to Garvey for out number 3. Nice play by Wiggins. Go to the bottom of the sixth. The Cardinals now have a 3-1 lead. Due up for the Padres, McReynolds, Garvey, and Nettles. If anyone gets on, Martinez. Kevin McReynolds 0 for 2 off Andujar. As we almost got the second screen back up. Let's see what the chat has. DC says Whitson signed a huge contract with the Yankees. I remember that. But I think he didn't have a fond time in New York, if I remember correctly. The Big Apple was too much for him. I enjoyed the '84 Padres and still have one of their hats. They had a very... The Red Sox just won on a walk-off hit by... They just came back and beat the Cardinals. Outstanding. Mookie Betts comes through in the clutch. Alright, so we're ready. We got everything all set now. Here's the pitch to McReynolds. And he grounds that ball foul. Count is now 1 ball, 2 strikes. McReynolds in the hole. Tennis sets the target. Andujar winds and delivers. And he strikes out McReynolds for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Tribes fan says 1984 also when the Padres owner, McDonald's founder, Ray Kroc died. So Steve Garvey comes to the plate, former Dodger. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the first, struck out in the third. Andujar nods his head. Here's the pitch to Garvey. And he strikes out Garvey! So he takes the first 2 batters out on K's. And now Greg Nettles steps to the plate. Nettles 1 for 2. He knocked in the only Padre run in the first with a double. And then he fly deep to right center in the 4th. 3-1 Cardinals. 2 outs, no one on. Tennis goes through the signs. Andujar nods his head. Here's the pitch to Nettles. And that ball's popped up. Ozzie Smith calls for it, makes the catch. We go to the top of the 7th. The 1982 Cardinals 3. The 1984 San Diego Padres 1. Due up for the Cardinals. Lonnie Smith, George Hendricks, Keith Hernandez, and if anyone gets on, Gene Tennis, the catcher. Lonnie Smith's 0 for 2. Corners are in. Smith 10 out of 10 bunter. Whitson nods his head. Here's the pitch to Smith. And that ball is... Gwynn makes the catch! Shoestring catch by Tony Gwynn. Robbing Smith of a hit. Nice play by Tony Gwynn. Brings up George Hendrick, who's 1 for 3. The right fielder had an infield single in the first, struck out in the third, and grounded to third in the 5th. Hendrick had 19 home runs in '82. He awaits the Whitson offering, and here it is. Hendrick walks. Whitson is not happy with that call. He barks at the umpire. And that's it. They've yanked him out of the game. Dick Williams has seen enough. The new pitcher, Craig Lefferts, left-handed thrower, to face the left-handed batting Keith Hernandez. Lefferts, 3 wins, 4 losses, 10 saves, 2.13 earned run average, struck out 56, walked 24, batting average against 229. Lefties only batted 200. So 1 out, 1 on. Hernandez 1 for 3. Popped out in the first, singled in the third, and grounded to short in the 5th. Padres want to turn 2 here, keep it a 2-run deficit. Lefferts is ready. He sets and delivers to Hernandez. And Hernandez sends that ball out into center field, drops in front of McReynolds. 38% chance of Hendrick going first to third. We shall hold him at second. So with 1 out, runners at first and second. And Gene Tennis comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1, and God, it'd be nice if I had Brummer back up. Now we get the left-handed pitcher. Tennis only batted .215 off left-handed pitching. Kennedy sets the target. The windup and the pitch to Gene Tennis. And Tennis grounds to Templeton, whose only play is to Garvey for out number 2. So advancing to third is Hendrick, to second Hernandez. DC says Williams was a tough SOB. Yes, he was. Tribes fan, Dick Williams, what a great baseball mind. Absolutely. Outstanding manager. Alvin, the 1980-40 Padres, managed by the outstanding manager Dick Williams, who guided the impossible dream Boston Red Sox. You are correct, Alvin. So with runners at second and third, 2 outs, Dane Ord steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Grounded to second in the second, grounded to second in the third, and then singled in the 6th. He'd like to get a single here, but most likely could knock in 2 runs as runners will be off on contact with 2 outs. And Orge actually batted .400 off left-handed pitchers. The windup and the pitch by Lefferts. Orge swings, a slow grounder. Lefferts gets it and throws to Garvey, inning over. Go to the bottom of the 7th. The 1982 Cardinals 3, the 84 Padres 1. Due up for the Padres, Martinez, Kennedy, and Wiggins. If anyone gets on, Templeton. Joaquin Andujar is still out on the mound. He's thrown 81 pitches, good for 125. And let's just see how many strikeouts he has. He has 7 strikeouts, no walks. Ed Whitson's numbers, 6 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them were earned. Walked 2, struck out 1. So Martinez 1 for 2, struck out in the first. Here we go, struck out in the first, singled in the 4th. Andujar rocks and fires. Martinez swings, and that's going to be his 2nd hit. Single into center. Tying run comes to the plate in the form of the catcher, Terry Kennedy. Kennedy had 14 home runs in 1984. He's made 2 crucial errors in this game so far. He's contributed the 3-1 St. Louis Cardinal lead. Would like to make amends with it now, going yard. Andujar definitely doesn't want that. Cards look to turn 2. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch to Kennedy. And that ball's going to be a single to right center field. So the first 2 batters single. Padres first and second. Wiggins steps to the plate. He represents the go-ahead run. He's 0 for 2. Tennis goes out to have a word with Joaquin Andujar. That's got to be an interesting conversation. Andujar's English is not too good. Meeting adjourned. Tennis goes back behind the plate. Wiggins digs in. Here's the pitch. Up. There's a pinch hitter. So Wiggins is called back by Dick Williams. It's going to be Tim Flannery. Flannery batted .273, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 128 at-bats. He batted .287 off right-handed pitching. He only batted .154 off lefties. Andujar has given up 2 singles. Let's see who we have for lefties. Lefties aren't. Oh, we can go to John Martin, who's also a starter, but he's a spot starter. Lefties only bat .219. Andujar, they bat .255. And he only bats .154. So they got lefty, switchy, and Templeton, and then left-handed, the pitcher, but they're going to pinch hit for him. Bruce Suter's my closer. Doug Bear. A pretty good bullpen. I think I'm going to go to John Martin because 219, and then Flannery only bats 154. Or should I stick with Joaquin Andujar? Now we're going with John Martin. We're going to play the percentages. Joaquin Andujar's day's done. We'll give you his final numbers. He's responsible for the runners at first and second. Andujar, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, responsible for the 2 runners on. It was earned. Walked none, struck out 7. He's lifted to the left-handed throwing John Martin. 4 wins, 5 losses, earned run average 4.23, batting average against 230. Left-handed batters only batted 219, and Flannery only batted 154 off left-handed pitching. Big moment here. 2 on, no outs. Martin's done with his warm-up tosses. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Flannery. That's a grounder. Foul. Oof, I thought that was down the line. It counts now, no balls and 2 strikes. I'm going to go pitch mode here. Try to get him to chase. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch by Martin. That's a ball. Alright, forget pitch mode. So now 1 ball, 2 strikes. He didn't chase. Martin peers in at Tennis. Nods his head. He sets and delivers. And that ball's popped up. Orge calls for it, makes the play at third. So he pops out to third, does Flannery. So there's 1 out. Runner's still at first and second. Kennedy represents the tying run at first base. Templeton the go-ahead run. Templeton, switch hitter, will now bat right-handed. And off lefties, 250. And I think off righties, 261. Martin gives up a 234 batting average. Let's go back to our pen now. Bruce Suter. Bring him in. He's going to switch to lefty. 204. Suter's good for 50 pitches. Bring Doug Bear in. Go with Doug Bear now. Lefties bat 205. Righties 215. He's good for 40 pitches. So Doug Bear will come in. We're going to take Dane Orge out at third. We're going to do a double switch here. Ozzie Spitzer in. Now, bring in the third baseman. Ken Oberkfell. So Oberkfell comes in to play third. So Doug Bear comes in. He's having his warm-up tosses. Templeton 1 for 2. Singled in the second, fly to left center in the 5th. Doug Bear, 1982 for the Cardinals. 5 wins, 3 losses, 8 saves. 2.55 earned run average. Batting average against 211. Left-handers batted 205. Right-handers 215. Templeton now switches to a left-handed batter. As I stated, Oberkfell comes in at third in a double switch. Bear's ready, excuse me. Here's the pitch to Templeton. Cardinals want to turn 2. That's a ground ball to Ramsey. Oh, and he They boots it, but they get the force out at second. They have the sure double play ball there. So now there's 2 outs. No error on the play because they did get it out. As Ramsey flips to Ozzie Smith. So runners on the corners, 2 outs. Lefferts, the pitcher, steps to the plate. He's not going to hit. So I'm just going to click pitch, and there's going to be a pinch hitter. And there he is, the pinch hitter. Champ Summers. You gotta love that name, Champ Summers. Champ Summers was not too much of a champ. This is a odd... That's really odd. They're going to go with a guy batting 185, 1 home run, 12 RBIs. Let's not let this happen here. The computer makes some bizarre moves. Let's see who's on the bench here, who's better than Champ. They have, is this Reniak? Ron Reniak. How many at-bats did he have? 20. Okay, how many at-bats did Mr. Champ have? 54. Well, I'm gonna switch this guy out. That's a horrible choice. Let's just see here. Well, Reniak's Bears a righty. I looked at that wrong. I mean, they got Brown, 262 off righties. How many? Bobby Brown. .171 at-bats. 262. He had 3 home runs up. Gotta go with him. How do you bring this guy up? I get it, lefty-righty matchup. My God, he only batted 192. No, we're not gonna. No, that's awful. The computer really needs to get better at this. That's horrible AI. I gotta figure out how to set that better. All right, so let me take control. This guy is not going to hit for the Padres. That's just awful. Just take control of the Padres for a second. Summers is going to be called back. Oh, we have Bruce Bochy also, 260. What's his slugging percentage? 460. Bobby Brown, 386. 262. Bochy, 260. Well, I'm gonna go with Bobby Brown. Yes. So Bobby Brown comes in to pinch hit. Now we're gonna give control back to the computer for the Padres. All right. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Bobby Brown batted 251. He's a switch hitter. 3 home runs, 29 runs batted in. And off right-handed pitching, 262. Tennis goes out to have a word with Bear. Hernandez and Ozzie Smith meet him on the mound. They set their defensive strategy. Meeting adjourned. Players back to their positions. The windup and the pitch by Bear. And he strikes out Brown. Inning over. So after all that, Brown strikes out. Let me quickly jump to the chat. Alvin says, Doug Bear also pitched for the 84 Tigers. Oh, that's pretty funny. DC Champ hit some bombs for at Tiger Stadium. Bochy was a nice player, DC says. All right. So the Goose Gossage comes out for the Padres as there's no tomorrow. He's the new pitcher. Gossage in 1984. 10 wins, 6 losses, 25 saves, 2.90 earned run average, struck out 84, walked 36. As the Cardinals have a 3-1 lead here in the top of the 8th. Gossage will face Ozzie Smith, Mike Ramsey, and Ken Oberkfell. Smith 0 for 2. Gossage rocks and fires. And Smith walks. 85% chance of stealing second base. Ramsey steps up to plate. Ramsey's 2 for 3 today. He's knocked in 2 runs. We're going to... Smith's going to steal. Garvey holding him on. There goes Smith. There's the throw down, and he slides in safe. He beats the Kennedy throw and the Templeton tag. And another error on Terry Kennedy as he throws that ball into center field once again. So when Templeton made the tag, it's a ghost tag. He never had the ball. Skipped right by him. So at third base, Ozzie Smith, the new second baseman, Tim Flannery. So with no outs, Padres pull their infield in. Count on Ramsey's no balls, 1 strike. He's looking to take something out to the outfield that can score the speedy Smith at third. The windup and the pitch by Goose Gossage. And they walk Ramsey, free pass. And the Padre infield goes back to normal, so they're going to choose to take a double play here and give up a run. Oberkfell steps to the plate. Ken Oberkfell batted .289, 2 home runs, 34 RBIs, and off right-handed pitching, .308. Let's see what they do with Oberkfell. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch. Oberkfell grounds a Flannery. We're going to send Ozzie Smith home. And they only can get the force out at second. The Cardinals now go up 4-1. RBI on the fielder's choice for Ken Oberkfell. That was a bizarre defensive. You got to play the infield in on that one. Cardinals now go up by 3. Top of the order now, Willie McGee. He's 1 for 4. An infield single in the first. Since then, he's been retired. In the second, fourth, and sixth. Oberkfell, 7 out of 10 base runner, 38% chance of stealing second. Garvey holding him on. McGee hit and run, 7 out of 10. We're going to play some hit and run. Gossage throws strikes. Here's a pitch to McGee, hit and run. Oh, he swings and misses. And they throw Oberkfell out at second for the second out of the inning. So McGee fans on the hit and run. It's behind the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch by the Goose. Grounder to Flannery, over to Garvey, inning over. But the Cardinals tack on another run as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The 82 Cardinals 4, the 84 Padres 1. Bear still out on the mound. He'll be facing the top of the order, which is Gwynn, McReynolds, and Garvey. If anyone gets on, Greg Nettles. Gwynn's 0 for 3. Gwynn batted .371 off right-handed pitching. Tennis goes through the signs. Bear nods his head. Here's the pitch to Tony Gwynn. And he grounds that ball up the middle for his first hit. He's now 1 for 4. Hernandez to hold Gwynn on, 8 out of 10 base running ability. And here comes Kevin McReynolds. He struck out 3 times today. Bullpen action for the Cardinals. Bruce Sutter quickly gets up. He was already stretching. Starts to throw. Cardinals want to turn 2 here. Tennis goes through the signs. Bear nods, he's ready. Here's the pitch to McReynolds. That ball goes deep and off the center field wall. McGee retrieves it. It looks like they're going to wave Gwynn all the way around from first. And we have an 11% chance of throwing him out. We're going to say No, we're going to try to keep the runner at second. So we'll throw to the cutoff man. McReynolds has a double, and the Padres score their second run. Now 4-2, and that's going to be it for Doug Bear. Bruce Sutter will be coming in the ballgame. Who else do we have who can play third? Now, we're just going to replace. We're going to put Bruce Sutter in the 6th spot. So here's Bruce Sutter, the man with the beard. 1982, 9 wins, 8 losses, 36 saves, 2.90 earned run average, struck out 61, walked 34, batting average against 235, lefties batted 204, righties 268. Steve Garvey 1 for 3, single in the first and struck out in the third and the sixth. No outs, McReynolds at second, just knocked in a run. Garvey represents a tying run at the plate. The windup and the pitch by Sutter. That's a single to center. They hold McReynolds at third. So the Padres looking to roar back here. Runners on the corners. Nettles steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. He doubled in the first, knocking in Garvey. Since then has flown out and popped out. Cardinals want to turn 2. They'll give up the run to get 2 outs here. Nettles steps to the box. He's ready to grip and rip. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch. And he strikes out Nettles. It's a huge out there. Tennis throws the ball back to Sutter. He's rubbing it up. Double play gets them out of the inning. 4-2 Cardinals. McReynolds at third. Garvey at first. Garvey represents a tying run. Martinez at the plate, 2 for 3. He represents a go-ahead run. We have a humdinger going here. Martinez struck out in the first, singled in the fourth, and singled in the seventh. Sutter's ready. Here's the pitch to Martinez. Now they call him back. They're going to a pinch hitter. Eddie Miller. Miller batted .286. Only 14 at-bats, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. And again, this makes no sense. Batted .250 off right-handed pitching. Okay. So Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch to Miller. It's fouled back. The count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners on the corners, 1 out. The windup and the pitch by Bruce Sutter. That ball goes deep to Hendricks. He makes the catch, and tagging up and scoring from third is McReynolds. The Padres pulled to within 1. Sacrifice RBI. Sacrifice fly for the RBI for Miller. Now 4-3. This ball game has got very close quite quickly. Garvey represents a tying run at first. And Terry Kennedy, who has 3 errors on the game, steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Remember, Kennedy had 14 home runs in '84. 1 swing of the bat can put the Padres ahead here in the bottom of the 8th. Batted .262 off right-handed pitching. Big moment here for Bruce Sutter and the '82 Cardinals, as well as the '84 Padres. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch to Kennedy. That ball goes out to Hendricks, and he makes the leaping catch in front of the wall. Inning over. Padres score 2, though, in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. The '82 Cardinals 4. The '84 Padres 3. Gossage will face Smith, Hendrick, and Hernandez. Lonnie Smith 0 for 3. The windup and the pitch by Gossage. And he strikes out Smith. Big swing and a miss. One out, no one on. Hendricks steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Infield single in the first. He struck out in the third. Grounded out in the fifth and walked in the seventh. Hendricks, 19 home runs in 82. He'd love to take a Gossage fastball out of the ballpark. Give the Cards a desperately needed insurance run. Kennedy goes through the signs. Gossage nods his head. He rocks and fires. And what happened here? He strikes him out. Hendrick argues with the ump on that call, but they're not changing it. There's 2 outs now, and Keith Hernandez steps to the plate. Righty-lefty matchup. Hernandez 2 for 4. Cardinal first baseman popped to second in the first, infield single in the third, grounded out in the fifth, and singled in the seventh. It's up to Hernandez to extend the top of the ninth. Kennedy sets the target. Here's the pitch. Hernandez swings, and that ball is off the left field wall. It's a 2-out double. He just missed a home run. So Gene Tennis steps to the plate. Big insurance run. And Keith Hernandez at second base. 7 out of 10 base running ability. Tennis 0 for 2. 387 off right-handed pitching. Gossage peers in at Kennedy. He's ready. He rocks and fires. And Tennis is hit by the pitch. Came too far inside, and now here's the dilemma. Should have took over and fell out. Bruce Sutter steps to the plate. And Sutter's gonna hit. Sutter's gonna hit. Let's see who we have here on the bench. Steve Braun, 279 off righties. David Green, 280. Julio Gonzalez, 385. Oh boy. I can't take Bruce Sutter out though. Oh man, I should have. I could have took Tennis out. Well, no, that means I would have had to take Oberfeld. I wasn't taking McGee, Smith, Hendrick, or any of those guys out. Oh boy. If I take them out, who closes out the game? I'll have to go to a starter to try to close out the game. Oh, we got Tommy Hurt too. Wow. Yep, Sutter's gonna stay in. We're up a run. I'm not taking my closer out. Alright, well this is gonna be an out. Gossage salivating. Bruce Sutter's up at the plate. Here's the pitch to Sutter. And he grounds to Templeton. He goes to Flannery. Inning over. So Sutter got a good piece of the ball. He just hit it at Templeton. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The 82 Cardinals cling to a 1-run lead, 4-3 over the 84 Padres. Gossage pitches out of the jam. 2 up for the Padres. Flannery, Templeton, and the pitcher, Goose Gossage. If anyone gets on, top of the order, Gwynn. So Sutter is back out on the mound. Flannery 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch by Sutter. That ball's a fly ball. McGee comes in on it, makes the catch for the first out here in the bottom of the ninth. Cardinals 2 outs away from advancing and eliminating the Padres. Gary Templeton steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Singled in the second, flied out in the fifth, and had a fielder's choice forcing Kennedy at second in the seventh. The bat left-handed off the right-handed throwing Sutter. Tennis goes through the signs. Here's the pitch to Templeton. Ground ball to Ramsey, makes a diving play, gets up and throws to Hernandez for out number 2. robbing Templeton of a hit up the middle. What a play by Mike Ramsey. And now Goose Gossage steps to the plate. They'll call him back. And here's the pinch hitter, Mario Ramirez. Another interesting choice by the computer. Ramirez batted 119. So once again, we shall take control and bring up a different pinch hitter. Let's see who we should choose. Now remember, I'm managing the Cardinal team and I want to win. I hate losing to the computer. As if you've watched some of my recent football games, I put them on once in a while. I'm like 0-4 against the computer with games I put on. Alright, so we're going to switch to human. Now let's see who we have left on the bench here. We're going to go with Bruce Bochy. 260. He'll come in to pinch hit. So Bruce Bochy comes in. 228. Batting average, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, but he batted 260 off right-handed pitching. He represents the last hope for the Padres. Sutter looks in at tennis. He's ready. Here's the pitch. He pops it up. Tennis goes back, and it goes foul. Let's switch this back. One ball, 2 strikes. Bochy in the hole. Sutter's ready. He rocks and fires. And he strikes him out. Ball game over. The 1982 Cardinals defeat the 84 Padres 4-3, and they shall advance in this one and done tournament. Tribes fan said, "Hello, Ken Castro. How are you doing, my friend?" Tribes fan just going over his Ferguson Jenkins 1971 replay for the Cubs. He says in real life Jenkins was 5-2 at that point. So let me go to the box score. Winning pitcher Joaquin Andujar, losing pitcher Ed Whitson, MVP Ozzie Smith. Bring the box score up. Go to OBS. Box score should be up in a moment. And before we do the box score, I'd like to thank everyone who was in the chat. I'd like to thank DC, and good luck with Action PC Baseball. It's a very good game. I love it. Thank you to Tribes Fan. Thank you to Ken Castro. The Cubs, the Bears. Alvin Leslie. I think that's it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for taking some time out, spending it with me. We had an exciting game. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed bringing it to you. I try to get in the chat as much as possible and read what you're putting in there because I'm interested, and I think other people watching are interested. So now we'll go to the box score before we sign off and call it a stream. Winning pitcher Joaquin Andujar went 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. It was earned. No walks, 7 Ks. Then Martin came in. He got his 1 out against the lefty. And Bear came in. He went 2/3 of an inning. 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned. And he struck out 1. And Bruce Sutter pitched the final 2 to get the big save. Gave up 1 hit, no walks, struck out 2. Ed Whitson took the loss, 6 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Walked 2, struck out 1. Terry Kennedy, the catcher, had a horrendous day behind the plate. Lefferts came in, pitched 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, no runs. And Gossage pitched 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, 2 Ks. So the Gossage, that 1 run was very important. Let's go to the batting. Player of the game was Ozzie Smith. Ozzie Smith went 2 for 3, 3 runs scored, and he walked once. The rest of the lineup, Willie McGee 1 for 5 with an RBI. Lonnie Smith 0 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout. George Hendrick 1 for 4 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Keith Hernandez 3 for 5 with a double. Brummer, who I mistakenly started when I thought Whitson was a left-handed pitcher, instead of looking, just said, oh, he's a lefty. Set up a left-handed lineup against a left-handed pitcher, I mean. He actually had a hit on a hit and run. He was 1 for 2. Gene Tennis we brought in. He was 0 for 2. Dane Orge 1 for 4 with a run scored. Bear came in to pitch, did not have an at-bat. Suter came in to pitch. He did have an at-bat. He grounded out to Templeton in the top of the ninth. Ozzie Smith, we already said. Ramsey had a big game. Honorable mention for player of the game. 2 for 3 with 2 runs knocked in, and he walked once. So the 7th and 8th hitters were a combined 4 for 6, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and they walked twice. Smith and Ramsey, the dynamic duo up the middle. Joaquin Andujar had a sacrifice bunt twice, so he had no official at-bat. Martin came in, got his lefty out, didn't have an at-bat. Oberkfell had a sacrifice fly. Oh no, the fielder's choice for an RBI. In total, the Cardinals, 34 at-bats, 4 runs, 11 hits, 4 RBIs, 4 walks, struck out 3 times, 1 double. They batted .324 as a team. On to the losing Padres of 1984. Tony Gwynn 1 for 4 with a run scored. McReynolds 1 for 4 with a run scored, 1 RBI. He struck out 3 times. He had a double, though. Garvey 2 for 4 with a run score. He struck out twice. Nettles 1 for 4 with an RBI. He had a strikeout and a double. Martinez, that was odd to take him out for a pinch hitter. I didn't understand that. 2 for 3 with a strikeout. Miller had a sacrifice fly. He knocked in the run. That was who I brought in to pinch it after they foobarred on who the computer chose. Salazar came in to play left field, did not get an at-bat. Kennedy 1 for 4, and he had 3 errors behind the plate. Wiggins 0 for 2, Flannery 0 for 2, Templeton 1 for 4, Whitson 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Lefferts pitched an at-bat. Summers got called back. Brown was a pinch hitter. He struck out. Gossage did not get an at-bat. Ramirez got called back for Bochy, who struck out to end the game. In total, the Padres, 35 at-bats, 3 runs, 9 hits, 3 RBIs. No walks. They got struck out 10 times. They had 2 doubles. Their batting average as a team, .257. Those 3 errors by Kennedy were a killer. Killer. Let's go to the recap. Padres scored first in the first inning, in the bottom of the first inning. 1 run on 2 hits. Greg Nettles doubled, scoring Garvey. They took a 1-0 lead. St. Louis came right back. They scored 1 run on 2 hits and an error. Mike Ramsey singled, scoring Smith. They tied the ball game at 1. And the Cardinals had 2 hits and a walk, but failed to score in the third. But in the fourth, they scored 1 run on a hit and another error by guess who? Terry Kennedy. Willie McGee hit a grounder, scoring the runner. Cardinals took a 2-1 lead. Cardinals again scored a run in the 6th on 2 hits. Mike Ramsey singled, scoring Orge. They went up 3-1. In the 8th, the Cardinals would score their 4th and final run of the game. On 2 walks and an error, Ken Oberkfell hit a grounder, scoring a run. Cardinals went up 4-1 over the Padres. The Padres rallied in the bottom of the 8th, scoring 2 runs on 3 hits. Kevin McReynolds doubled, scoring Gwynn, made it 4-2. Then Eddie Miller hit a sacrifice fly, scoring the runner from third, made it 4-3, and that's how the ball game ended when Bruce Sutter closed out the 9th. Keith Hernandez 3 for 5 with a double. Ozzie Smith, player of the game, 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored and 2 stolen bases. Terry Kennedy 1 for 4 and 3 errors. Joaquin Andujar got the win. Bruce Sutter the save. Ed Whitson the loss. This is Al, Red Sox fan, saying thank you very much for watching. Till next time, health and happiness. Bye-bye, and God bless.